Hi there, it's Sam from poodles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's project is this one, and this is one of my tent bags. I've been making tent bags for quite a long time now, quite a few years, and it's a good way to get a wide box but without having to worry about the way to close it because you're making a tent. I don't know if that's the technical term that I would probably give it, but it's what I call it, a tent bag. Like I say, I've been making these for a long time in all sorts of different sizes. Don't think I've ever made this size before. Uses a piece of cardstock that's 8 by 11, 28 by 20 centimetres, and the paper wraps all the way around. So this one is made using Melon Mambo to go with the background of the paper. I'm going to come in with Coastal Cabana this time, so I'm going to use the same paper but pick out a different colour. So I've got Coastal Cabana, so 8 by 11 inches. Okay, so on the long side, yes, on the long side, score it at 4.5 and 6.5, and mark it at 5.5 on both sides. So you're going to have to turn it over or turn it round. So you're scoring in metric 11.5 and 16.5, and you're marking at 14 there and there. Then on the short side, score it at 2 inches and 6 inches, which is 5 and 15, and then you're going to part score down to get this nice line to around the 3-inch mark. So you're going to score down at 1 inch, just down about 3 inches, and at 7 inches, down about 3 inches, and rotate it round and do exactly the same. So in metric, that is fully scoring at 5 and 15. Yeah, 5 and 15, checking my measurements, and part scoring at 2.5 and 17.5. Okay, I'm just going to move that out of the way and create a lot of noise. And so, what we're going to do here, I'm going to turn this round. Now the first thing to do, where these part scores are, we're going to do a diagonal line there and there, all the way round on all four, and then with the mark we're going to create a triangle there and there as well. And I will explain that in a minute. Actually, I'll explain it now while I'm doing the scoring. That is because this square that I'm scoring in is going to stick on the inside. It's going to get cut and it's going to wrap round under there, so we want it to bend in the same place as the outside part of the box. So by putting in these score lines, you're not trying to force cardstock to do something it doesn't want to do. You've already put the score lines in and said you are going to bend, you are going to move. Okay, oh, I've got this one, let's do that one as well. And I think I've just moved all my grid paper. There we go. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. So those are my full lines. That's my part with the triangle all the way around in all four corners, and then this square, I've done that as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold just the straight lines. Don't worry about the diagonal lines or anything like that. They will naturally pull themselves around, and the part score, don't worry about folding that either, because that's all part of the same process. So what I'm going to do now, I'm cutting into this square and wedging a little bit. And if I bend that, and I know I said you don't need to worry about it, what you can see is that, let me move that bit out of the way, that triangle that I created there now mirrors this one. Let me make that one do its thing as well, so you can possibly see it a bit better. So you can see there's a triangle there. That one, when it's all glued up, it's a mirror image. And it will nestle in like that, and it will all kind of collapse in on itself. So that's the reason for doing that. If you didn't do that and you try to create the triangle part of the tent, this bit of cardstock would resist, and it wouldn't like it very much, and it would resist, and you'd end up with your cardstock buckling a little bit, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants that to happen. So let me get that bending. Oh, in the wrong direction. Let's get it bending in the right direction. And like I say, when this wraps round, those crease lines are going to form, and it is mirroring it. See, clever, clever. So adhesive on here. Let's get some Hondo on here. On that one and that one. And bring them up to line them up and hold this in place, and discover that your arms don't really bend in that direction. So you just hold that, and I'm going to run some glue on this bit. I don't have a particular technique for Tombow. I just slap it on, and then again wrap that round and hold it in place. And the same there. Oh, can't get my hands in. So I'm just pushing it to make sure that it stays. Running my hands inside to get that glue to go off. And I'm just going to hang on to it for a second because I don't want to collapse it and then the glue, I'm not done. So we'll come back to that in a minute. And what I'm going to do is some die cutting. So these two bits here are die cut from, ooh, the herd of elephants that have just thundered into the office. They're die cut from the designer series paper with the jar of sweets framelets, but I've also got a bit of stamping going on. So I'll do the stamping, and I'm going to take this one. Do I want to go with treats or do I want to have something else? I think I will go with treats as I did before. So that's my bit of stamping. Blocks. This one has got a hole in the middle, so let it relax on your desktop before you pick it up, and then pick it up with the block. Obviously that one's solid, so not such a worry. Oh, what colour should I go for? I don't know. I might go with the same ones I went with before. Oh, I don't know. Where's the scrap of the DSP? Because I want to make a flag with that. I think I might go with the same colour. So that was Gorgeous Grape and Melon Mambo. Ooh, both with the Brights collection. So let's grab some. But I think I'll do it the other way around. So I'm going to go Melon Mambo with this one. Oh, my Melon Mambo needs to be re-inked. Oh, it's a job for a child. An older one. Perhaps not a small child. I'm just going to chop that off so that I can get everything going through my big shot at the same time. And then Gorgeous Grape on this. Don't put your block on the wrong way round. Ink up your image, not the back of the block. Always useful. Okay, and then I'm going to go with this strip here, and I'm just cutting. That's going to be too long, so I'm going to cut it. Oh, it's such science, isn't it? About there. That's good. So that will peep out behind. Actually, maybe that's not long enough after all. I like to work by eye. I don't think everything in life has to be measured absolutely perfectly. But I'm just going to create a couple of flag tails on that. Oh, I'm holding it on a nerve. So my hands are shaking. Can't cut straight. There we go. So what I'm going to do is die cut these pieces while I'm waiting for that glue to fully go off. So, oh, that would be a sweetie on the floor. So you can die cut and emboss at the same time. Those are really cool. So I'm going with that one and that one, and then my frame. And then obviously you could die cut more treats and sweets if you want to, but I'm just going with these for now. And let's grab the big shot off the floor where it was. So I've got magnetic platform, clear plate, and I'm going to start putting this on. So I'm going to send that one through. And it's got a little point at the bottom, so you need to make sure your die line's up, so you've got the point as well. And this one here can go through that one. Oh, let's get that lined up a bit better. Another one here. So this is Design Series paper, and actually that's the other side of that one I was just hacking into. So that's one side and that's the other. And this is a bit off camera for you, so you can't see what I'm doing. But I'm getting this bottom one lined up, and that's just jumped, so let me just reposition that completely. That doesn't want to play, does it? Stick it over here. Bouncy framelets. There we go, lined. Oh no, and now that one's moved. Okay, clear plate over the top. Send the whole lot through the big shot. Oh. I don't know what I'd do without my big shot. I really don't, genuinely. It's an amazing piece of kit. So I'm just popping out my shapes. I'm putting my dies straight away. Don't put it down, put it away. So there. So all my dies have gone straight back in the packet. This is one I really need to get some more of those magnetic sheets. If they're all done, I'm not going to lose any of those bits. And then now, although I've lost that flag that I made. Where's that gone? It's stuck to the bottom of my big shot or something. Oh, I don't know where that's gone. We'll have to do that right now. So what I'm going to do now, because this glue really has probably dried, push in the sides, and what you've got is 2 layers of cardstock at the top, and you've got a third down at the bottom. And the reason for putting all those score lines in is because although you've got a lot of cardstock going on here, we've got nothing buckling whatsoever. We've just got this lovely tent shape. So you do have to give it a bit of oomph. Let it know who's boss. Okay. Now to wrap my DSP, so this is exactly the same width. It's 4 inches wide by 12 inches long. And I'm starting at the bottom. So in metric that is 30.5 centimetres by 10 centimetres. So I'm just gently running my fingers along there. I'm going to keep hold of it, and I'm holding it in place by putting it down on my grid paper because I need this tent to close so I can get my paper over the top. And again, I'm holding it in place, and you do almost feel like you need 5 pairs of hands for this. And I'm just, again, wrapping it there, just with my fingers. I'm going to move that out of the way. And now I can be a little bit more firm. And you don't want it really super duper mega tight because you obviously do want to be able to get your box open again. So, we do need it to slide, I should say. But you don't want it so loose that it all tries to gape open. So what I'm going to do is put some tear and tape along here, peel off the backing, and start the other way round. So I'm going to get that in position, close up the box, Oh, I didn't score that one. Would help, I guess. So I'm holding everything down, wrap it round and closed, and then this will still slide on and off without any problem whatsoever. Cute, isn't it? I quite like it with that colour on. Right, let's get all of this put together. I can't believe I lost that bit. I carefully put... Oh, it's here. It's okay. So I'm going to snail this one straight onto here. Straight into the middle. Dimensional on the back of this one, probably half a dimensional. Or a bit of a dimension. Actually, no, it is big enough. I hope that isn't going to be a smash. Does anybody else just hear that? Cats just went thundering through the kitchen. And a couple of dimensionals on the back of here, and I'm going to put them towards the centre. And then I'm going to double up the one that is on the right hand side. And I'm going to bring in some dimensionals for these as well. It's all about the dimensionals. And, you know, I'm not joking, but it actually really does lift everything. So that's lifted. That's lifted. And what I've done by doing the doubling... Oh, I doubled up on the wrong side. I wanted to double up on the left-hand side. Should we try that again? Oh, I've just taken 5 off there. So, I wanted to double up on the side that is away from those. I lost my left and my rights. So that it's balanced, because they're going to sit, this greeting is going to sit on top of those as well. So, there you go. Melon Mambo, Coastal Cabana. What do you think? And actually, I pretty much got them almost in exactly the same places. I was trying to do an exact replica, obviously with slightly different insides. But I really like them. Tent boxes, dead easy to make. Super, super, super easy. Anyway, thank you ever so much for joining me. Hope to speak to you very soon. Bye.